Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, one and all, and welcome to the Caps Locks and Chair Shots podcast. We have all four of the horsemen here with us today. Starting off first, hailing from the Philippines, he is the muscle of this podcast and future voice of his people. He is the one, the only, the Jaime.
What a week it was in wrestling, so let's start talking about it.
Okay, and joining us from the left coast, he is the unfunny comedian on YouTube. You know him from playing such great video games as Grand Theft Auto 5 and Super Mario Brothers. He is Alex. Say hi to the people, Alex.
Well, looks like we won't get to see Alcineri's package anymore.
I have no idea what you just said. And my alter ego, my arch nemesis, and the most hated man in wrestling podcast is joining us as well. He is the real Danny D, Dan Dorrit.
Not sure how to take that comment as being the most hated man in wrestling podcast, considering Russo still does one, and Cornette, but I'll take it as a compliment.
Hey, say what you will about Russo and Cornette, but people still don't like you. Let's go to we had two big breaking stories that happened just yesterday. In fact, had we recorded the show on our normal day, we would have missed them. First things first, the greatest man in the world, Austin Aries, is gone. Go.
Well, it's a sad news. We lost Austin Aries. Like, as talented as Neville is, he couldn't carry the show alone. He couldn't carry the division alone. 205 Live is dying, and they lost their only hope at the moment.
Dan, do you agree? I mean, big blow, right?
I mean, it's a big blow for 205 Live, but I am actually excited to see Austin Aries out of the WWE, especially if he was going to be just a cruiserweight.
Yeah, and we're checking. Nobody's shocked that you want to see him go back to the Indies. Alex,
No.
what are your thoughts on the loss of Austin Aries?
I can only imagine things will stay the same largely. I mean, it's not like he was doing a whole lot to begin with in WWE.
Well, that is true. Dan, we're going to break up your 5 minutes of indie garbage here today because we have a lot to talk about that has an impact on the indies. Where do you see Austin Aries showing up? Does he go back to Impact? Does he go to Ring of Honor? Is he going to PWG or AAA or Lucha Underground? Where does he go?
Where does he go? I think he might go back to Impact, but I personally want to see him go to ROH in New Japan. There's just so many better feuds there for him. I feel like we'll get better matches out of him. Him and Cody, him and Lethal, him and Marty. I feel like there's so much potential for him in ROH, and he'll have a little bit more leniency as far as the indies go. If he were to work with ROH.
Okay, now you brought up ROH, and let's talk about a guy that made his bones in Ring of Honor, and that's AJ Styles. For those of you that do not know what took place at Madison Square Garden Friday night, AJ was able to take the title using a flying phenomenal forearm to win the U.S. Championship from Kevin Owens. There's a lot of speculation going on about why this happened, especially at a house show, knowing that it's going to be exploding on Twitter, being at MSG. Jaime, can you explain this to me, please?
I actually do not know what's up. Supposedly, AJ Styles won this Battle Royal in SmackDown Live, and he's supposed to face Kevin Owens at the pay-per-view, the next SmackDown pay-per-view. So I do not really understand what happened, why the title changed hands. Is Kevin Owens injured, or is there something backstage? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, that is a big question. Alex, have you heard anything?
No, I haven't really. There hasn't been a whole lot of talk so far from what I've heard. If I had to guess, this reminds me a lot of when they had the NXT title changed to house show.
Okay.
And it's just going to be played into their storyline.
Yes, but a lot of that had to do with somebody getting called up, like, almost immediately. You're not going to get called up from SmackDown. Where do you go?
Raw.
I don't think that's...
No, when the NXT title changed hands, it was Nakamura and... Or no, it was Joe and Finn. And Finn
It was both.
They both... Wow, I didn't know it happened multiple times. I only remember it happening one specific. But I think it just happening in MSG, I feel like maybe their house show numbers were down, and they were trying to they're trying to find a way to get the numbers back up, the ratings back up. They're trying to do something different that they haven't done in a long time to generate buzz, which this obviously generated buzz.
Well, yeah, it did, but... that's going to be the second to last show going on a pay-per-view. This is going to be your premier thing.
It is.
You're still going to get the match. Owens is still do his rematch clause. You're still going to get the match at Battleground.
It is, I think,
worth the fans something.
It is, I think, worth noting that this is only a week, not even a week after the New Japan Los Angeles shows happened. So, and those were a resounding success. So I think maybe WWE got a little startled at that and looked at anything they could possibly do.
Honestly, yeah. I think that New Japan Pro Wrestling is about 4th on the WWE's worry list. And it's not even close.
You're 100% wrong.
You're definitely wrong.
Well, okay.
New Japan has more hype right now than any other company.
You're right. Absolutely they do. And it's actually going to bring up a question later on that's going to be the title of the podcast. But no, they don't care. Why would they care? Why would they give a damn about people that have washed out in NXT and guys that couldn't hack it on Raw or SmackDown, going and doing crazy things across an ocean away when they are the undisputed king of wrestling in North America? Why would they give a damn about what's going on?
3 of their biggest stars were last with New Japan before they came to the WWE.
Okay.
More than 3.
Well, I'm saying like there's 3 of their biggest names right now. I mean, it might be more, but the first 3 that come to the top of my head.
The 3 biggest names are John Cena, Roman Reigns, and Brock Lesnar.
He didn't say the 3 biggest. He said 3 of the biggest.
3 of the biggest, which would be AJ Styles, Nakamura, Finn. Unfortunately, I can't include Gallows and Anderson in that because they just haven't been doing anything with them.
They're jobbers right now, basically? Yeah.
Unfortunately, yes. And I know that upsets you, Ed. I know you don't. I know you think they're better than jobbers. I know you think those guys are better than jobbers.
Well, who? Festus? One of them was Festus, right?
It's in gravy!
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. It doesn't work for me. The Bullet Club and anything about the Bullet Club or the Baylor Club and anything about the Baylor Club, with the exception of maybe 4 guys, can stay right where they are and just on the periphery of my wrestling viewership and can go straight to hell.
I do think the WWE was worried that New Japan had a Canadian U.S. champion just like they did, so they went into
Oh my God. You're saying it just to bother me.
I am.
Yes, you are, you dick. Anyway, no, I'm telling you, Stanford doesn't give a damn. Maybe Triple H does, because Triple H has more of a global view set on things. And when Vince steps down and goes away, maybe stuff like this will happen more often because Triple H will be a little bit more worried. But as long as Vince is sitting on his throne, New Japan doesn't matter. Impact doesn't matter. Although, I say that, and the reason Jinder Mahal is the champion is because Impact was going to India, so I don't know.
I don't know how many times we have to go over this. The Jinder push had been planned for months.
And Impact being in Mumbai didn't exactly...
planned for probably close to a year before GFW even took over.
Yeah,
Impact... people didn't even know if fucking Impact... Sorry, excuse me. If Impact was going to exist for another year.
The tour was still planned, though.
That was a work.
Billy Corgan was a work?
I don't believe that.
No, Billy Corgan wasn't a work. But the whole Billy Corgan being in charge and they don't have the money was a work.
No.
Yes. Billy Corgan worked
There definitely
us.
were reports out there from talent that talent didn't think it was a work.
And you could say the same. I mean, if we want to go down some rabbit holes here, we can go down some rabbit holes. Because I'm 60-40 thinking that, and it's the 40%, thinking that the Montreal Screwjob, it was a work. I'm 40% sure it was a work. It just, everything lined up too perfectly for it not to be. That was a work. You know, and you look at some of the unscripted things that have happened in the WWE or in professional wrestling as a whole. How much of it's really unscripted? I think everything that we see that we're taking at face value as being, holy crap, that is the real thing. It's not real. It's not real.
Mark.
Yeah, you're probably right. But let me point something out to you. And it just goes to show, and this is probably going to lose us, 15% of our viewership, so that one person that's not going to listen to us anymore, I apologize in advance. There was a video on Facebook that showed the fake heart attack that Eddie Guerrero had in a match, I think it was a tag team match with JBL.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and people were like, oh my god, Eddie, rest in peace, oh, he's really dying, blah, 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 blah. And I can remember when it happened. And people were legit saying in the infancy of the internet that this was real. You know what happened? Not a damn thing. It was exhaustion. It wasn't even freaking real. It was a work. Just like everything else that's happened. TNA was never going to die. Nobody was going to let TNA die. And it wouldn't shock me if the WWE was the one that maybe got Anthem involved to make this happen.
Well, can we talk about some good things with TNA here lately?
Oh, we're going to get to that because, like I said, there's the question that's going to be the title of this podcast that y'all are going to disagree with me about. But first...
Imagine that. We're going to disagree with them.
Let's jump into the big pay-per-view that's happening Sunday that's going to keep me awake and make me exhausted when I write the recap for Monday morning, and that is Great Balls of Fire. Now, first question, is this the very worst pay-per-view name in the history of pay-per-view names?
Well,
the worst
goodness
logo.
gracious, I have to say so.
Now, I'm going to bring something up here. If I can find it, if it's been posted. I did something, and I honestly don't think it has been posted, about the worst pay-per-view names of all time. And it's bad. Like, there are some terrible names. Insurrection, spelled with 2 X's. It made the list. Tuesday Night in Texas, that was on there too. Yeah, it was Tuesday Night in Texas. That was it.
Hold on, was it on a Sunday though?
No, I believe it was on a Tuesday, but the WWE has not shied away from Tuesday night pay-per-views. Let's not forget, Taboo Tuesday, Cyber Sunday, which at the time gave a whole new meaning to what cybering meant. Stuff like that, but I digress. Let's go back. Great Balls of Fire, we have the card. It's pretty much, well, it is official now. Jaime, your match is on the pre-show. Neville will take on Akira Tozawa, newest member of the Titus brand, for the Cruiserweight Championship. Tell me about it.
The fact that Titus O'Neil is involved in Titus Worldwide, I don't think Tozawa will win this thing. But if it was a one-on-one storyline, like Akira Tozawa's journey and everything, I think he's going to win this match. But since the Titus brand, you know how Titus screws things up, he might just screw this up for his new client.
Well, we shall see, but anybody else got any thoughts? Alex, Tozawa, Neville?
Neville desperately needs a new haircut.
And he needs to find a new Precious's.
I don't see this title changing hands on the pre-show.
I don't either, but...
But then again, they did just change titles on a house show, so...
Yep, so we can't go for that. Now...
So you know what? Tozawa wins.
Dan going with the dissenting opinion. All right. Now, I'm using Wikipedia because it pretty much is one of the more knowledgeable sources in the wrestling world. It has Brock Lesnar versus Samoa Joe for the Universal Championship going second on the card. It's obviously wrong, right?
First on the main card.
First on the main, yeah, exactly. It'll open the pay-per-view show. This is wrong, right?
Yeah, it obviously is.
Okay. Who wins, Alex?
Lesnar.
Okay. Dan?
I mean,
Lesnar, I think it's going to be a decent match, but when you're looking at Joe, I just don't think it's time for his push yet. I think they're setting up something at SummerSlam.
Alex, you were saying something? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, here's the thing. From what I've been hearing, they're planning on doing Roman versus Brock early at SummerSlam. Because I guess they just want to get out of the way.
But why?
Because they know that no one's going to care about it, and it's going to be terrible.
This is the most people have cared about a Brock Lesnar match in a year. Although this may be the first or second match he's had in a year. So you're picking Lesnar then, Alex?
Yeah, because he has to go into SummerSlam with the belt so he can lose it to Roman.
Dan, you got Lesnar?
Yep.
Jaime, who you got?
Joe, Brock's coming for his revenge someday, but he's already made more appearances in a month than he made the entire year. So
Yeah.
I think he needs to rest. So Joe, Brock will come for his revenge someday, but I see Joe versus Reigns in SummerSlam.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm going to go with Brock, just basically because of what the other two said. Speaking of Roman Reigns, he's going to take on Braun Strowman in an ambulance match. This has the potential to be the best match on the card, but it will probably be the second worst. Third worst. It won't be the worst. It'll be the third worst. Who wins? Dan?
Roman. I have no input on this match. I'm tired of this feud. Roman.
Jaime? Pinch hit here? Who do you got?
Roman.
Are we going to go 3 for 3 here, Alex?
I think Roman will win, but I so badly want Braun to win.
Same. I want Braun to win, but I think Roman's going to.
Yeah, I want to know if Braun puts Roman in the ambulance and the door stays open, and then Braun flips the ambulance. It technically moves. Roman was inside it. Does that end the match if the door never closes and it never drives away?
I think they should do that spot, but then Roman spears Braun from inside the ambulance, shouting, "I'm not finished with you yet."
Or are you finished with me now?
Off that.
I think it should be, "Are you finished with me now?"
That works too.
That may be better. Okay, so let's move on. The Raw Women's Championship will feature, Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss. Somebody talk.
I'm excited for this match.
That makes one of us. Why?
I think it's going to be a really well-worked match. I think Sasha works really well, and I think Alexa is coming along great. And I think that it's two of the biggest mouths in the women's division right now as far as smack talk, and WWE is definitely giving us that to where we're going to hear some of that through the camera and through the mics and everything. So
Jaime,
I wish they would have built it. I wish they would have built it a little more.
Sasha and Mia do agree with you.
What?
Who's Mia?
Hold on. Have you never noticed in Sasha promos she refers to herself as Mia?
No.
No.
Yeah, she does that. When she says me, she says Mia.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm going to have to listen for that.
Is that like her real name?
I don't know.
No.
Jaime, tell me, who do you think's going to win?
Bliss. It lacks build-up, so I
Yeah.
think Bliss is going over.
Same.
Well, I'll tell you who I think is going to win, and that are the beer and hot dog vendors and the merchandise stand, because that's where I would be. I don't care, and I'm going to... hold on. I am going to say this right now. Sasha Banks is going to go the way of Dolph Ziggler, except she's going to be smart enough to leave the WWE and go somewhere where she can be utilized the right way. She is wasting away on Raw. She's not long for the WWE. I'm calling it
So
now.
how long until Snoop Dogg shows up on GFW?
I don't know. I'd say maybe after WrestleMania. You know, there's talk about an all-women's Royal Rumble. There's talk about a bunch of different things that they want to do with the women's division, whether it be a Survivor Series match with everybody. So, yeah, I don't know.
They need to boost the rosters if they're doing a women's Royal Rumble, because you have to at least do 20.
Well,
Isn't that the point of the Mae Young Classic, though?
thank you. Yep. You wanted to talk about it, Dan.
Normally those shows those tournaments are more so to bring in NXT, or if you're going to have a separate show like 205 Live or the UK show that we're apparently getting. That's what those tournaments were for.
Good.
And look at how small those rosters are in themselves.
Yeah, but they're also, I mean, look at the Royal Rumble. Nobody's, with the no new person, no, I don't know how to say it. No rookie. Nobody that we don't know who they are is in that match longer than 5 minutes anyway. So why not bring in the entire Mae Young roster in January, throw them in there, throw the 10 ladies that you have in the women's division now, let them all duke it out, have Charlotte be the first ever winner.
You could even throw in a couple of, you could throw in Lita and Trish Stratus in there, because why not?
Legends, yes. Legends are always a big pop at the Royal Rumble.
Surprise entrance.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. I feel like they still need to feel like they need to boost the rosters anyway.
Just imagine, Tamina, Nia Jax, and Awesome Kong could be the only 3 women standing in the ring, say at numbers 5, 8, and 10.
That sounds awful. I never want to see Awesome Kong wrestle again, no matter how good she was on Glow.
I'm probably the one that actually supports women's wrestling the most out of the 4 of us, and I agree 100% with him on that. I never want to see her in a ring again.
Oh, come on. Karma wasn't bad.
The fact that you just changed her name.
I mean, she went by Karma in the WWE.
For what, all of one match?
Well, it was like a good 3-month push. Until she got pregnant.
And then she wasn't anymore.
We're digressing. We need to move on. Seth Rollins, Bray Wyatt. Jaime, talk to me about Seth Rollins. Is he going to use this as a springboard to greatness? Again.
He can, but it can also be a storied rivalry. It's not just a one-match deal. They could go months and months. Remember the Bray versus Roman Reigns feud went for months. There was even family involved. But for Seth Rollins, it's one-on-one for months.
Yeah.
You can see that happening.
Dan?
I feel like that's the way it's going to go. I feel like this isn't going to be a one-off feud. I think we're going to get this probably. I feel like the blow-up for this is going to be a SummerSlam.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe a bigger match.
Unfortunately, Raw has a lot of good talent, and there's only so many spots really at the top, and that's clearly Brock, Roman, and Braun right now. I guess you can include Joe in there since he has the title match, but I don't know what they're going to do with him after this one. That's just how I see it. I think that I feel like they need to keep this feud going because this is going to be something that interests the fans.
Yeah.
Okay. Does Bray Wyatt need to win this feud, Alex? Does he need to win this feud to maintain any kind of badassery?
Maintain what bad? He doesn't have any badassery. He is a joke at this point. He has been He is more buried than Bo Dallas.
Whoa!
Don't talk about the Miztourage.
Whoa, that's rough. That is a rough thing to say.
He just came off of being the WWE champion. He never actually technically got his rematch. Right, and then they decided to put him on a show, which on Raw, which I think was a last-minute decision for some reason. I don't feel like that was the right move.
I think it fits him better to be on Raw than SmackDown, though.
I like the belt around him. And to answer the question, he doesn't need to win this feud. He's too over with the fans. Rollins doesn't need to win this feud. This is a win-win feud for both of these guys. Neither one of these guys actually have to win the feud.
It wouldn't matter if Bray won the feud. No one's going to take him seriously at this point. He is a joke.
Jaime, what are your thoughts?
No, I disagree with Alex. He isn't a joke because Bray is a character that you do not really need to put a title belt on that often. Remember, Undertaker did not have consecutive title reigns.
He's got a point. I mean, Bray Wyatt is pretty much the Undertaker, just if you took the Undertaker and smashed him down a little bit. I wouldn't say 2.0, because you really can't improve on the Undertaker. But if you take 7 feet of the Undertaker and push him down a little bit, it's going to expand outward, and that's what Bray Wyatt is.
So he's fat, beardy, lame Undertaker. Great, you really built the guy up.
I think those merch checks probably would disagree with you.
Yeah.
Oh, great, he sells a lot of merch. That doesn't make him, in the storyline, any more of a badass.
No, but the promos, the use of cell phones for the Fireflies, believe it or not, the House of Horrors match. Let me finish.
Skip that.
I ripped it apart when it happened. In retrospect, it wasn't terrible.
Yes, it was.
It was corny. It was weird. It didn't make a lot of sense. But come on.
It was WWE desperately trying to rip off the final deletion without understanding what made that fun.
No. You completely wrecked my train of thought, but I'm saying it was corny. It didn't make a lot of sense. It was weird. But come on, it's professional wrestling. What about it isn't corny, a little weird, and doesn't make a lot of sense? It's the whole industry.
I don't hate it because it's corny and it's stupid and it doesn't make sense and whatever else. I hate it because it's bad. I hate it because it's boring and not entertaining. Go watch any of the Broken Hardy stuff. That was all corny and stupid and dumb as hell and whatever the hell else you want to call it. But it was entertaining. It was entertaining. The House of Horrors was not. It was boring. It was dreadfully boring.
Yeah, but no. I didn't. And you know what? My Twitter account is @CLANDCS, so if you guys want to direct tweet me how stupid I am, go ahead. I didn't like the Broken Hardy stuff. I don't like the Broken Hardy character. I don't like Matt Hardy, period. If he comes back, he should be as version 2.
Alright, let's digress.
Moving on to the next match, and since we just got off the topic of stupid, dumb, and corny, Enzo Amore will be facing Big Cass. I love Enzo. Enzo's my kind of guy. He's loud, he's obnoxious, has a way bigger mouth than what his body can handle, and often hides behind bigger people. That's my life. Big Cass just destroys him, right? Big Cass just...
I think he has a comeback spot in this match. I really do. I don't think they're gonna completely bury Enzo in this match. Even if they do bury Enzo, he'll be okay the next night on Raw because his mouth will bring him back to being okay. But I do think Big Cass wins, and I think they transition. I really hope Enzo challenges Neville for the Cruiserweight title soon.
That was my next question. Jaime, it's going to go to you. Will we see Enzo Amore in 205 Live within the next month?
I'm not giving a time frame, but he's bound for 205 Live, especially. What else can you give him? he split up with Big Cass. He doesn't have the technicality or the moveset to feud with anyone else on top of the roster, so that's where he's bound.
Alex, where do you see happening?
I don't see him going to 205 Live.
Okay.
I see him getting, after that promo he cut this week. Was it this week or last week? No, it was this week.
Yeah.
After that promo he cut this week, I see him getting a fairly decent upper mid card push.
I see title push.
Yeah, maybe.
No.
I mean, I can see that as well. But I wanted, if 205 Live is going to survive, they need someone like him. They need someone like him. And
Okay.
they should really put the strap on him, in my opinion.
No. This is how this is going to happen. And Smarks, get ready to have your head explode.
Here we go again with the
Hold on.
predictions.
Hold on. Let me get comfortable here in my chair. Go ahead.
Okay, Mike and Maria Kanellis, what show are they on?
SmackDown.
SmackDown.
Right. Where is Enzo from? Jersey, right?
Jersey. Yeah.
Okay. Where's Carmella from? Staten Island, which is pretty much Jersey. How about this? Big Cass beats, and I mean just destroys, Enzo to the point to where Kurt Angle, for in his own best interest of Enzo Amore, trades him to SmackDown. Daniel Bryan, who hates James Ellsworth, trades Ellsworth and, let's say, a wrestler to be named later just because baseball, whatever. So now Enzo, just walking back, first show on SmackDown, walking around, how you doing? He sees Carmella. How you doing? Those two hit it off. Mike and Maria need somebody to feud with. Oh my God! It's the SmackDown Women's Champion Carmella and Enzo Amore, who are now an item. The big feud will be between Maria and Alexa Bliss for the championship, and you have Mike and Enzo being Mike and Enzo.
Here's the issue with that. I don't see that happening because it's rumored that Carmella is replacing Paige on Total Divas, which means we're going to get Big Cass on Total Divas.
Yeah.
And I don't see that happening for that reason.
That is so perfect, too, because what a better way for Enzo to get back at Big Cass than to be in a relationship with his girlfriend. It works on just so many levels. That couldn't
Normally
even
they
help
don't
it.
do that though. Normally they don't do the different relationship thing with somebody on Total Divas that's in a relationship.
Right. But let's not remember, what is the biggest relationship blow-up that we have ever seen in wrestling history besides the unfortunateness that happened in Atlanta?
Are you talking about Neil Young and Mark Henry?
My God. No, that wasn't a blow-up. That just went away. I'm talking about the love triangle between Edge, Matt Hardy, and Lita. They actively used that in a storyline for over a year. Why wouldn't they try to create some fake drama with this?
I mean, you've came up with some crazy stuff, and it's happened before, but I think you're way too far off on this one.
I think that idea is just really stupid, and no one would like it.
All the more reason for it to be the feature piece of a SmackDown going into the road to WrestleMania. Let's move on, shall we?
Please.
Thank you.
Please.
Dean Ambrose. Which, by the way, Dan, we're still waiting on something from you. I believe you have... yeah.
As you can see, as to my background, I'm still not home.
Mm-hmm.
My car is in the shop. It's stuck in reverse. It won't shift into neutral, drive, or park.
I see. So what you're saying is you have a lot of downtime since you're not going anywhere, so you could write me a piece. That's what I'm hearing.
If you want, I can have it rewritten. But I'm going to be annoyed with you as I'm rewriting this, considering it's already written and on my laptop.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah. Nothing new in that statement. Anyway, moving on. Dean Ambrose was taking on The Miz and The Miz Taraj. What do we see going on here? The aforementioned Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel, Maurice in The Miz's corner, and Have we heard anything about what's happened with the plant yet? Is he in bloom? What's going on?
I think he's dead thanks to that traitorous Chris Jericho, who threw himself into a shard of glass on Kevin Owens' show. So
may he rest in peace. Moving on. Alex, since you chimed in first, who do you got? The Miz and the Miztourage versus Dean Ambrose.
it's going to be some type of dirty win to the Miz.
Okay. Dan?
It's going to be The Miz, and I want Dean to win this so badly, but it's going to be The Miz.
Hi, man, we haven't heard from you in a few minutes. What is your thoughts?
It's gonna be Miz. You know, Dean's going to take out the Miztourage just for the Miz to capitalize and hit the skull-crushing finale.
Okay, now, we saw some, I don't know how to put it, envious looks from Curtis Axel. When the feud with Dean Ambrose is over and the Miztourage has to go away, is Curtis Axel gonna challenge the Miz for at least a match to give him some more relevancy? Jaime?
Yeah, it's possible, but it's going to be a one-time deal where the Miz cheats his way to victory, or maybe Bo Dallas turns on Curtis Axel.
Interesting. Anybody else got any thoughts on this?
Why wouldn't Curtis Axel turn on Bo Dallas? Didn't we see Bo Dallas turn on Curtis Axel a few months ago?
Oh, foregoing that feud at the bottom of the card. Nice. All right, let's move on to the championship match for the Raw Tag Team titles. 30-minute Iron Man match. The Hardy Boys taking on Cesaro. Or is that what we're gonna call this team, Cesaro? Or is it
The Bar.
I like Cesaro better. Who do you got, and what is the score? Jaime.
2.
Is it a 30-minute Iron Man match?
Yep.
It's gonna be 3-2, 4-3 in favor of Sheamus and Cesaro. It's their type of match.
High scoring. Dan, you said 2. Who wins?
2-2-1 in favor of Cesaro.
Alex, your thoughts?
Here's what I think is going to happen. They're going to take out Jeff Hardy in quick fashion somehow, maybe hit him over the head with a chair or something. I don't know. Then they're going to go to Matt Hardy. They're just gonna destroy him and concuss him over and over and over again. Throw him into every ring post. Throw him head first into guardrails. Whatever. Destroy him. Break open his skull. Then they're just gonna throw Jeff back into the ring. Pin him over and over again. Just take turns. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Just get a bunch of wins, and then the match will be over. And that'll break Matt Hardy.
Oh.
I think I know where this is going.
I like it. That was a good... Alex, all right. I love it. But you're wrong.
I'll call you Ed Jr. for, like, the next 5 minutes.
Whoa. I'm Ed Jr., okay? I'm Ed Jr., all right? But you're wrong, and here's why. In the history of Iron Man matches, have we ever seen anybody lose a fall via disqualification? Never happened. And it's never going to happen. Because, and I'm just speculating here, deep down in places Vince McMahon doesn't like to talk about, in parties he doesn't like to be in, he has respect for the business. And an Iron Man match is one of the more respected matches that ever could come. As such, he is not going to disgrace the Iron Man match, if you will, by having somebody get disqualified. So that's not going to happen. I do think this could be the road to breaking Matt Hardy, but I still think it's too soon. Although, didn't somebody post a tweet for the Raw, not this week but next, saying that it's coming?
Yes,
Jeff?
but
Yeah.
Jeff did, but apparently that's the release of his album.
Yeah, I think that was something to do with Perik's Y channel.
Oh.
Okay, well,
But it would still be nice considering they're in Nashville.
oh, the home of TNA. Yeah, whew, man. Does Vince have the cojones to do it?
I don't know where the legal proceedings are.
Yeah, depends on the legalities.
There we go. But we are now at the halfway point of the show, which means we're going to take a time out to promote ourselves and RealSport101.com. This is coming from the higher-ups. They want to remind everybody out there listening that they are doing extensive coverage on Wimbledon. The tournament of tournaments for tennis is out there. Also, got to give a couple of shout-outs to my man Rob Parks Jr. for keeping the hustle going, and for the Real Sport Wrestling editor, Patches. He put out a piece out there about the history of women's wrestling. He's now in volume 3 of
It's a good one.
very well-written series he does. So, Patches, if you're listening, keep up the good work, buddy. Jaime, what do you got going on? We saw you just released a piece. Let's talk about it.
I wrote something about Roderick Strong being the next Daniel Bryan. No, it's not fair to directly compare, but the underdog, the ultimate underdog tag. So finally, I had it released. And remember last week I mentioned about writing on the Ely brothers, but I couldn't find anything about them. So I asked Patches if I could just change it to tag teams to watch in NXT because they're running out of contenders. I think TM61, I do not know where they stand right now. I think one of them's injured. So you have the Ely brothers, who might be the future. Tino Sabatelli and Riddick Moss. They have to be on TV more often. Well, whoever they pair with Lars Sullivan, who used to be called Dylan Miley, they're comparing him to Brock Lesnar because of the size, the height.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, well, we'll be sure to look forward to reading that when it comes out. Dan, we're going to get to you in a second. Alex, tell us what's going on.
Not a whole lot at the moment. I have started production on a few new reviews, but I don't want to say anything too much because my schedule is all over the place at the moment, so...
All right, well, be sure to look for something sometime about something from Alex.
There'll be reviews on my YouTube channel, and they're all terrible films that may or may not be of the gay pornographic variety.
I'm not sure that's a good bait, man. I'm really not sure that's a good bait. Anyway, moving on. Dan! Hi, Dan. How you doing today, buddy?
Nothing. I have nothing to say after that. Let's just move on.
Well, we still got to talk about what you and I are doing.
Yeah, so
which may or may not be of the gay pornographic variety.
It is not of the gay pornographic variety. We are doing a collab piece on The Shield, and that'll be up by Monday.
It was supposed to be up by Thursday, but somebody wanted to be slow. Dan. Anyway.
Someone is currently not in his home state.
I don't care. I'm not in my home state. Haven't been in my home state for a decade. Almost a decade and a half.
Okay, do you live in the home of the state that you are in?
No.
Do you live in a home of the state that you are in?
That doesn't make any sense.
It makes a perfect sense. Do you live there?
I live, but it's not home.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm done with you today. And I still have to do a whole other podcast.
Oh, yes, we do. And what Dan is referring to is the Sports Du Jour podcast. Will, by the time you hear this, will be uploaded onto SoundCloud and to RealSport101.com. That Sports Du Jour podcast will be covering the MLB All-Star Game, Tito Francona's health, and the travesty that has become the MLB Home Run Derby. Stay tuned for that. We're also going to be having a special guest from Real Sport, the baseball section. It will be talking to us as soon as I can get a hold of him. He will be here, so that's what's going on in our lives today. Now, let's move on. We took way longer than what we should have with Great Balls of Fire. Let's go to what happened on SmackDown. I could not have been more excited for this. I was excited for it last week when it was announced. The battle rap.
Yeah.
the glory that was the battle rap. Alex, let's start with you. Is Xavier Woods the next rated R superstar?
Well, he's well on his way to it. You know, maybe he just needs a little bit more work on the rated R side, but
I mean,
you know,
to be fair, what made Edge the rated R superstar?
he had a live sex celebration.
Yeah, but he didn't.
Woods had a recorded sex celebration.
He had like a semi chub, and Lita wasn't even completely naked. Where Xavier had a three-way dance, if you will.
I feel bad for Xavier, honestly. I mean, he's a black guy, and he got overshadowed by Brad Maddox.
Hey, you know what? Not all men are created equal. Let's move on. Did the Usos win that rap, or was it New Day hands down, Dan?
I'm done.
Okay, Jaime, same question.
I think the Usos won it. You see, the last line that the New Day pulled out, it was too obvious already. I saw it coming that they were going to bring up Roman and how smaller of a superstar they are compared to Roman. So I already saw that coming.
That Total Divas line was great. That Total Divas line that Xavier Woods dropped was great.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, but I agree with that. Yeah, that was a good line. But
but you know, to Jaime's credit, you know, Kofi, you used to be Jamaican. Now Kofi, you're just Jamaican.
Yeah, he used to be West African, then Jamaican. I don't know what came first.
He was from Ghana. I don't think he was ever built from Jamaica. He was built from Ghana in West Africa.
Yeah.
So
they just gave him that Rastafarian gimmick.
Okay, here's the next question. Have we seen the end of the Fashion Police as a skit? We saw Tyler Breeze cross-dressing and Fandango attempting to be a construction worker.
When did Tyler Breeze cross-dress?
He was cross-dressed as Tanae Young when he interviewed Ty Dillinger.
Wait, I thought that was a new reporter.
Oh my god. This is why we hate each other, Dan. This exactly why we hate each other. Because one of us is stuck.
Wearing your glasses when you saw that thing.
One of us is stuck in kayfabe at one point and then out in the other, and it's the exact opposite. And this is why we hate each other. Anyway, back to the question, Dan. Since you wanted to interrupt, Dan, is this the end of the Fashion Police as a segment?
Nah, I don't think so.
I mean, we haven't seen it in 2 weeks.
We did see it. No, it wasn't. We did see it last week. It was Fashion Vice or whatever.
Was it? I thought that was the week before last.
I'm pretty sure we saw that last week. Not this past SmackDown, but the one before that. I'm pretty sure it was on there.
Oh well. So you don't think it's the end? Jaime, is this the end of the Fashion Police?
I'm thinking, do they have enough, what do you call it, to pull up another man-to-man angle, like the Billy and Chuck thing?
I don't think Tyler Breeze and Fandango are the right guys to do it with.
Well, I mean, they have dropped hints, and there was news come out that WWE wanted to incorporate gay characters into their programming, so...
Well, I mean... I just don't want... I don't know. I guess the shoe fits them two better than anything else, but I don't think they're the right two to be wearing the high heels.
I mean, Tanae Young already wore the high heels, so...
Yeah, that's true. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see, but... Hey, we'll just... If so, as long as it's entertaining, I don't care. Speaking of entertaining and stuff I don't care about, the Battle Royal happened, and we all knew what was going to happen. We all knew who was going to win that Battle Royal. It was just a matter of who the last ones were going to be. AJ Styles eliminated Sami Zayn. I believe Ty Dillinger was one of the last ones in there as well. Is AJ? I mean, we obviously know AJ has the title now. Is AJ the right pick? Was he the right pick to win that Battle Royal?
Well, he is a country boy with that farmer strength, so I don't see who else could have won the Battle Royal.
Okay.
No, I think that Battle Royal was the chance to push Ty Dillinger, so
Yeah,
I hate that it was Sami Zayn who kicked him out of the Battle Royal, because I hate Sami Zayn.
I'm not a big fan, but Sami Zayn. You see, the way I look at it, Dolph Ziggler has a whole category of guys underneath him. Guys that are underutilized, that could be stars, that should be doing great things, but can't for a number of reasons, whether it's they've made enemies in the locker room or there's too many people ahead of them that are better. And Dolph, Sammy, Sasha, there's a bunch of guys that's the case for. Sammy's one of them. And to a certain extent, I think Kevin Owens probably going to go down that road. Austin Aries was definitely in that category. I agree with you, though. I don't like Sammy. Dan, we haven't heard from you. Was AJ the right choice?
Yeah, but I do think that was a small guy. I think he can give a share. They just have nowhere to really push him right now.
Okay, we heard about half of that, but I'm going to assume that...
Between one of the two shows, they need another belt.
Okay, we heard about half of that.
You have so much just stagnant superstars that...
Okay, I'm going to try again. We heard about half of that, but I'm going to just assume that's Dan just trying to screw with me by putting his finger over and over his microphone again. But we heard what you said.
Can you hear me now?
Not really. All right, let's talk about Impact for a little bit. Then we got to get to the top 50 superstars before we end the show.
Don't we need to talk about Slammiversary?
Yeah, kind of, I guess. So, wow, yeah, Slammiversary happened. Slammiversary. Let's talk about Slammiversary, shall we?
Yeah, sure.
Don't seem so excited, guys. Come on. Slammiversary was fantastic.
Yeah, it was alright.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually my favorite part of the week. The entire card of Slammiversary.
Now, was Slammiversary, or will Slammiversary be the best pay-per-view that we see in July?
Already is.
It depends.
Well, it's the end of what we've seen.
That depends how you define pay-per-view, but that depends entirely how the Brock Lesnar Samoa Joe match goes.
Okay, the best of the big three shows, and by big three I mean Raw, SmackDown, and Impact. Not counting New Japan, not counting whatever. Now, let's talk about Impact. Braxton Sutter and Ali and Mahabali Shera defeated Awesome Kong, wow. King Kong, or Congo Kong, God. I may stop talking for a little bit. Congo Kong, KM, and the hot mess Laurel Van Ness. Did anybody care?
No. It was on the pre-show, wasn't it? Like,
It
they didn't
was.
even air it.
It was on the pre-show.
Yeah.
Dan, did you care?
I would have actually liked to see that match, probably just because I find Laurel Van Ness attractive, but
Is she more attractive than Ali?
that's tough. That's a tough call. I'm going to say it's about even.
Okay, now we had the LAX, the Latin American exchange of Ortito and Santana with Diamante, Homicide, and Conan.
Santana.
I'm sorry?
Tease and Santana.
Whatever. Defeat Drago and El Hijo del Fantasma of AAA, Laredo Kid and Garza Jr. of the Crash promotion, and Naomichi Marufuji and Taji Ishimori of Pro Wrestling Noah. Did I get those names right?
I guess so. Yeah.
Sure.
Did anybody care about this one?
I marked out for Drago the Dragon Man.
Hey, did you see him on Impact on Thursday when I introduced him with the tongue, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I did not watch.
Yeah, that tongue is great. I absolutely love it when he comes out like that. It's
Okay.
awesome.
Actually wondering how he does that tongue thing.
I won't ruin kayfabe. I'll act like it's real.
D'Angelo Williams, who brought out NASCAR driver Austin Dillon and a fellow free agent Gary Barnidge, which is a travesty that he's not still on the Browns, teamed up with Moose to take on Chris Adonis and Eli Drake. Honestly, at this point, I was beginning to think about turning off my computer and going to sleep. Am I the only one here? Did anybody else care about this?
Oh my god, are you kidding me? That match probably stole the show.
Only because D'Angelo Williams almost broke his neck.
No, okay, besides that bad table spot, D'Angelo Williams went far above and beyond my expectations and what he can do.
So was
That
I
match
correct
was great.
D'Angelo Williams had 3 days of training before this match.
Oh, bullshit.
That's it. No, that's what Dave Meltzer was reporting.
And you know what? With all due respect to Dave Meltzer, I love the guy. He's my hero. I kind of wonder how much Dave Meltzer's down the rabbit hole as far as convincing people that things are real that aren't really real. But that's just my 2 cents. I didn't care for it. I would have given it a 2.5, maybe, but
Completely disagree.
I love Eli Drake.
That's 3.
I love Eli Drake. I hate Chris Adonis. I hate the idea of the Grand Championship and Moose just entirely. And as much as football players and wrestlers have coincided, there needs to be a separation, and we don't need to see him anymore here in today's day and
I
age.
completely disagree with that. D'Angelo Williams should absolutely make the jump to pro wrestling.
Well, he's probably not going to be on an NFL roster this year, so we'll see. Now, the match that I thought they wasted, and it could have been better, Ethan Carter III defeated James Storm in a strap match. I thought that match could have been better. Am I wrong?
Same.
It was alright.
It was alright, but it could have gone better. I agree with you.
It's a stupid gimmick match. I'm not sure it could have been better.
Well, the thing is, we saw Ethan Carter III do something that, in the history of strap matches, and they go back a long way, we've seen nobody else do, and that is, let's just unhook myself. Like, nobody's ever thought of that in 100 years. And I don't know. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of how that match came out. I thought it did great things for Ethan Carter III, but you can't keep burying the guys that you've built for 15 years and want to be legends. And they're doing that with James Storm.
How close to retiring is James Storm?
I don't think he's close at all.
I think he's about to move to the part-time.
I think he's on the downwind of his career, and
Well, you see,
I think that all you can do now is use him to put other guys over.
well, you see, that's the thing, though. The way Impact does their scheduling with one show a month or one show every 6 weeks, where they record 6 shows in a day, he can keep this up for 15 more years because it's not as physically taxing as you're in Chicago on Monday, you're in, Iowa on Tuesday, you're home Wednesday and Thursday, and then you're doing a house show in New York on Friday, a pay-per-view in Pittsburgh on Sunday, and then you start back over again. It's just...
Well, TNA is starting to tour again, so that's not entirely true.
Yeah, but do you think James Storm is going to be one of those people they want to tour?
Well, he was announced for the New York shows, so...
Yeah, but that's their first one. Everybody is announced for the New York show. Like, everybody on the roster, because that's their first touring show, and they've been hyping it for months. So everybody's going to be there. But we're running out of time, so we got to hurry through these next ones. JB and Joseph Park, or Abyss, took on Josh Matthews and Scott Steiner. I loved it. Anybody else?
I'm done with you. I am so done with you.
I love the nostalgia.
Yeah, come on. It was
Boy returning, James Mitchell returning.
It was so great because it was so much like the final deletion.
we got to see the Sinister Minister. Come on. It was fantastic.
That was terrible.
Oh my God. Whatever, Dan. Let's move on. Alicia and Eddie Edwards defeated Angelina Love and Davey Richards.
My favorite match of the night.
That was your match of the night, Jaime?
Yeah.
Okay, it seemed like Davey Richards and Alicia, Angelina Love, sorry, my brain's fried. It seemed like they should have won. That's like a heel match, if you will, because, the woman can beat up the good guy, but the good guy's not going to touch the bad woman. It just seems like that should have worked out that way. So, I don't know.
They've been beating on Eddie Edwards and Alicia for months already, so they've got to...
Why not continue it?
The faces over.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, cool. Sanjay Dutt defeated Low-Ki in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the X Division Championship. Is anybody else disappointed that this was an Ultimate X?
No.
I was disappointed in the match in itself.
It wasn't.
I was disappointed
great,
that they thought that this was a match that deserved to be on pay-per-view.
You're just saying that just to piss people off.
No, I'm really not. No one cares about Sanjay Dutt. No one cares about Low-Ki. These guys are not going to draw any buys.
Oh, you can go to hell, sir. I care about those two. I cover Impact as closely as anybody for our website. Me and Dan probably are the Impact section.
How many casual viewers do you think are going to see the card and are going to see Sanjay Dutt versus Low-Ki and think, well, that sounds like something I need to watch?
Look at the viewers they're trying to attract, though.
Intelligent fans, yeah, they're going to understand how great... It was a great match. I said I was disappointed in the match, and I think it's because I set my expectations.
The hardcore wrestling fans are not going to watch Impact anyway. They're too burnt on it.
You know what? That's another thing. I completely agree with you on that. Impact is not nearly as bad as what everybody gives it credit for. And that's me being completely biased, but it's not. Impact's a great show. People just don't give it a chance because of the history. But you're completely wrong. They're trying to bring back the fans that watched Impact 5, 10, 15 years ago when Low-Ki and Sanjay Dutt were big names. They're trying to bring in the indie fans who know Sanjay Dutt and Low-Ki from either GFW or Ring of Honor or the other stuff that they've done. It's nostalgia for nostalgia's sake, and it worked. These guys can still clearly go. Sanjay Dutt hasn't lost a step, even though he hasn't been on Impact in a long time. And other than the fact that Low-Ki has a terrible gimmick, and it is a terrible gimmick, it's fantastic. Like, that was a bad... It was a disappointing match because I wanted so bad for that match to be the match of the night, and it wasn't. But it was damn good, too.
It was. That's why I said I think I set my expectations too high for the match.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Now, let's move on. Sienna, the GFW Women's Champion, defeated Rosemary, the Impact Women's Knockouts Champion, to become the Unified Impact GFW Knockouts Champion. What'd y'all think? Was this the right move?
Rosemary should have won.
I think we're not going to see Rosemary in quite some time after that loss.
Yeah, I agree, unfortunately. I think she's one of the better things in the Knockouts division, but I think she's going to go away for some time now.
Say, as over as she is, not to have her not on TV, especially with Abyss returning.
She's going to be on TV. She's going to be on TV. She's just going to be involved in this alley thing because they're going to try and do the alley Rosemary feud, which is just going to be the cherry bomb Courtney Rush feud from the Indies.
It's going to be terrible, is what it's going to be. It's going to be absolutely god awful.
No, they worked great together on the Indies. Like they had some amazing matches.
I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of either one. I think Allie acting like an excited 8-year-old when she comes to the ring just does nothing for me. And Rosemary, for all of her wrestling prowess, I've never liked anybody with a creepy character. I'm not a fan of Bray Wyatt. Not really a fan of Finn Balor when he's the Demon King. although he has the best entrance music ever. And I'm not a fan of Rosemary. Just throwing it out there, not a fan. If I'm wrong, tell me now. And that's what I thought. No, too late. Y'all missed it. Alberto El Patron, the GFW champion, defeated Bobby Lashley. Dos Caras was at ringside along with King Mo. Thoughts?
Did you see how many Dos Caras were there?
I don't know quite what you mean, Dan. Can you but
Okay, so last week on the show, somebody did say that Paige would be at Slammiversary. That was me. But Paige actually one-upped me, and I have to give her credit for this. She found a very interesting way to sit ringside for El Patron's match. Not only were two El Patrons ringside, inside of the barriers, there was also, not El Patrons, Dos Caras. There were two Dos Caras masks inside. There was also a Dos Caras mask sitting in the front row. And when you zoom in on the picture, you can clearly see that it has her legal name on a visitor pass inside of her phone case. Paige was sitting ringside in a Dos Caras mask to watch Patron fight.
Interesting. It's also worth pointing out that the other Dos Caras mask, and it's Caras, not Caras. You gringo. It's worth pointing out that the other one was actually El Hijo de Dos Caras, who was Alberto Del Rio's brother. You know him as Memo Montenegro from his short trial with NXT as enhancement talent. Anyway, thoughts on the match? I gave it 3.5. What do y'all got?
You gave that 3.5, and you gave the tag match 2.5?
Yep.
It was off yourself.
I'm so glad that edited itself out.
I take offense to the fact that you said King Mo was at ringside and that you didn't say King Mo was ringside, because King Mo is massive and he took up ringside.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's real good. But no, yeah, he was there. I mean, he was there. Is this the end of Bobby Lashley in the main event for Impact for a little while?
I've heard that he has been lost. I've heard that Bellator and his MMA training camp want him to pursue that more full time because they want him to go after the Bellator heavyweight title. So he's going to part-time status with TNA.
They don't have a shot at Bellator. They are signing some awesome guys.
I don't know if that would be a good career move for him. I mean,
I don't think so at all. He should just stay
No,
in.
I don't think so. Yeah. MMA pays low, and Bobby Lashley stuck to fighting tomato cans. So he wouldn't fight a top guy in Bellator, so it's not a good move.
Well, he is undefeated in Bellator at what, 14-0 now? So
He's undefeated because he keeps on fighting tomato cans. But put him against top talent or these new signees that come in from UFC or wherever, he's not going to win.
tough.
isn't that what people said about Brock Lesnar when he went to UFC?
Yeah.
Well, he lost to Frank Mir. He defeated Heath Herring, who fought tomato cans his entire career. He defeated a very old Randy Couture, and see what happened when he fought Cain Velasquez.
So he hasn't fought since October 21st, 2016. And he has fought not a single big name. Not a single
Lashley?
big name.
Okay.
Yeah, Lashley.
Let me ask you this, guys.
And he's 15-2.
What MMA match are you most wanting to see? CM Punk's next bout or Bobby Lashley's next bout?
I'd rather watch CM Punk because he's in the UFC. Personally, I mean that's
pretty much.
That's the mecca. I mean, if they're going to keep giving Lashley gravy matches to boost up his record and to give him a shot at the Bellator Championship, then I mean, what's the point of even watching that until he's gonna get knocked.
Okay. All right. Let's move on now. Let's go real quick in the last 5 minutes since we're already 10 minutes over. Dan, you're breaking up again, buddy. Let's go to the top 50 wrestler countdown that we have. It starts, we did 50 to 41 last week. Now we have 40 to 31 at number 40. Handsome Harley Race, who was left off of a whopping 7 of 12 ballots and didn't rank anywhere. His highest ranking was, 30th? No, I'm sorry, I misread that. His highest ranking was 12th. What are you guys' thoughts? Is Harley Race really the 40th best wrestler ever?
He could have gone higher, but I think the highest it could be is the mid-30s, the upper 30s, or maybe the later 20s. Depends on who ranks it and what era was he watching the most.
Okay, all right. At number 39, William Regal. Or Lord Steven Regal, or the man's man, Steven Regal. What are you guys' thoughts on this? Him being ahead of Harley Race.
He should have been a whole lot further ahead than that.
Really? You think so?
He was fantastic. He just never got a chance to show it on the big time.
Okay. At number 38, Jushin Thunder Liger. No.
I think it's...
Yeah, that's probably about where he belongs.
No.
Yeah.
No. Number 37, Samoa Joe.
No.
Yeah.
No.
A little over, I guess.
Yeah, a lot over. Number 36, Kevin Owens.
No.
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 Dan?
No. He's got more indie matches than WWE
He's got to be higher than that.
Higher? Are you kidding me? Moving on, finally something that I agree with, Kane. The Big Red Machine, Kane. Is in, I forgot what number I'm on, 40, 39, 38, 37, 30, he's 35. Kane is number 35. Is he right?
Yeah, that's fair.
I guess.
Dan?
That's fine. I'm fine with that.
Hey, agreement. All right. Number 34, Jerry the King Lawler. Anybody that says he should be lower needs to shoot themselves.
He should be maybe 1 or 2 spots lower.
Okay, so just like shoot yourself in the shoulder.
Few spots higher for me.
Yeah, he's way higher. He's the king of Memphis, man. And he kept indie wrestling alive long after it should have died. Number 33, The Ultimate Warrior.
God, no. He should be, like, up in the hundreds.
He's so unsafe and terrible. He should be so much lower.
Yeah, but, you know, a lot of that wrestling stuff in the 80s wasn't about who could execute the best suplex or who could execute the best arm lock or whatever. It was about entertaining. And despite the fact that nobody understood what the hell he was talking about, Ultimate Warrior was entertaining to watch. He was as over as anybody has ever been. And let me tell you something. I feel so strongly about the Ultimate Warrior. The book that I have written, he's on the first page. Like, he's not on the cover. But his speech, the final time we ever saw the Ultimate Warrior on TV, the speech that he made, that is the opening of my book. Because it was that damn good. And a lot of this who's the best wrestler thing is not about who executed in the ring. It's about who executed overall. And while Warrior may have sucked
We're just
in the
gonna
ring,
ignore that he's a raging homophobe?
I didn't know about that. I'm going to plead ignorance. I mean,
I didn't know that.
Well, yeah. He was a pretty big homophobe, so...
I mean, wasn't everybody back in that time, though, pretty much?
he's got a point.
Not that it's okay, but...
I mean, there are stories that certain people influenced ring hands to bring charges against Pat Patterson because he was homosexual to get him out of the WWE, and it worked. Even though those charges were completely unfounded. They were founded against other people, but because they wanted Pat Patterson out of the WWE, these charges were fabricated. So there's a lot of homophobia that was floating around.
Oh, sure. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, he was still homophobic well past the point where it stopped being okay to be homophobic.
Yeah, okay. Let's move on. Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig is 32. God, 15 minutes over. Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, number 32. What do you guys think?
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you see what I did there?
Fair enough.
Now, number 31, and the final thing we're going to talk about before we end this dreadfully long podcast, Scott Hall. Reza Ramon.
Yeah.
He should have been much higher.
Yeah.
A little higher.
Well, there's a different story for a different time as far as the greatest story in Scott Hall's career and probably the greatest story in professional wrestling, and we're going to talk about that next week. Also next week, we're going to be breaking down what happened at Great Balls of Fire. We're going to be talking about what happened in the next stanza of SmackDown. Will we see a cash-in this week, or will we not? And what's going on with a United States champion? We're also going to be featuring what's going on with Impact and numbers 30 through 21 on the top 50 wrestlers of all time. This show is going to be a little bit late getting to production because we are 16 minutes over, and I am now officially 5 minutes late to do another podcast. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank you all for tuning in to episode 14 of the Caps Locks and Chair Shots podcast. Be sure to tune in next week when we have all the greatest stories in and around wrestling that we can bring to you. And as always, if you're not down with us, Jaime, he has 2 words for you.
Keep listening.